Hello, everyone. Today I'm taking a look at Halo 4. Now, this was the very first 343 Halo game that they made completely independently. Reach was kind of like a dual project between Bungie and 343, but this is their first full-fledged game, and yeah, I don't have anything super good to say about this game. What they did with the story wasn't great. Let's talk about the gameplay first, though, which is, marginally okay. I mean, now everything has a much more, I don't know, how do you say, itemized design. There's a lot more details on things. The assault rifle to Chief's armor now has more details on it, and it's more kind of buffed out. And so the way Halo 4 starts, it's very much right after the very first part of Halo 3 where suddenly Chief is forced to wake up. And already we're introduced to the first, I think, problem that 343 is not Bungie, that they just don't understand Chief. For example, when Chief wakes up, he says, "Oh, hey, what's up? What's going on?" Like, Chief does not say a lot of words. He says very few words, and he's a man of few words and many actions. And this interaction just right off the bat does not feel like Chief, because he would never say that many words or that many phrases. And throughout the entire story, there's a very different characterization of Cortana and Chief. Cortana is like mostly the same. She's the same kind of personality, but now she's kind of wondering, is she really, well, she's not obviously human, but is she really a person? Does she really have a soul and identity? And she's kind of conflicted about who she really is and her identity. And Chief is kind of reciprocal to that. He's kind of like, yeah, okay, we'll find out together. Besides that, there's also the Infinity, which is the main ship in this campaign, and the main captain. And there's a bunch of also elites that don't really matter, kind of blend into the background. And yeah, I mean, since we're talking about the story, the worst thing, the absolute worst, and well, okay, before I can even get there, there's also the Didact, which is this apparently ancient forerunner. Even though apparently ancient forerunners were supposed to be human, this is, I guess, pseudo-human. So already, he looks very humanoid, but he just has extra jowls, like an elite, really, honestly. And he has this giant piece of armor that looks like a Tony Stark thing. And so, yeah, now you're fighting Forerunners, just not Sentinels, but also Forerunner, sort of mechanized assault bots or something. And so there's a whole host of new Forerunner weapons, which honestly I really like. They kind of use this sort of plasma-based weaponry. And so there's like a scatter shot, which is, the scatter shot is fantastic. I don't care what anyone says. It's a very cool weapon, and I love it. There's the long shot, which is, of course, their sniper version, which is very cool. There's also like a suppressed SMG and things like that. And they also have the like Forerunner plasma grenade. So they have a whole new faction, whole new enemies, whole new weapons, and it works moderately well. But here's the issue, right? Is the story. So what occurs is that Chief ends up at this one place, I believe called the library or the archive or something. And when he gets there, the lore that they establish, which just breaks down the entire mantle of this new trilogy for me, is there's a construct there, Forerunner construct, that basically says, oh, you, John Halo, Master Chief 117, your specific strand and code of DNA was essentially predefined and destined to be here throughout the eons of conflict and technology, that you specifically are the super special person supposed to be there as by some prophecy. So, you can have mythology in certain sense in, games, but when you have a prophecy and a mythology that's not 100 or 1,000 years, but like 20 trillion years in the making, that of all the possible life forms in the galaxy, it's going to be a human with a underpowered set of armor. Like, I understand they have this in Halo 3 where Cortana chooses John because he's lucky. It's the one thing that sets him apart, which is from the books. There's something special about John. But that kind of level of special is just, frankly, completely and utterly unbelievable. Like there's the possibility of there being a better soldier or a better piece of armor or technology within the next 50 years or something from these events is highly likely, or possible. And the thing is, like, the whole point of the Spartans is that a lot of them die. It's they're always fighting a losing battle. Their backs are always up against the wall, but they're always fighting in the most ingenious and creative ways possible. And a lot of them are expected to die, and John is just lucky. That's just his attribute. His attribute of luck is that he's special because he's not special, kind of thing. Like, all of his comrades have died at like this point in the timeline. There's only like 3 other Spartan 2s alive, and it's just bizarre. It's just weird. Like, yeah, you were super duper chosen and destined to be here, that it could only be unlocked by you. Again, the 117 armor design in this game isn't bad. Like I said, there's a lot more details, but it's not terrible or anything. It's just very extra. Cortana also looks very nice in this game, and so her design is still, to be honest, I can't even say consistent, because from Halo 1 to Halo 2 to even Halo 3, Cortana has never looked the same. Even her face shape, her body, everything. And so here we have even a brand new Cortana, and it's not bad. But in Halo 5, they'll kind of redesign her, not only in the way she looks, but in her attitude, in a way that's just not, just not nice, and not logical either, or nothing that flows well. So, and since I'm not going to really review Halo 5, I'll talk a little bit about it. Where in Halo 5, she basically becomes a villain because she has AI rampancy and corruption, which is like, yeah, that's possible for the AI to have. But like, they make that the entire point of Halo 5. And then Cortana also merges with like some monitor constructs, so she has access to the Halos, and she's gonna launch and fire the Halo rings. It was the worst. It was the worst, the most horrible ending. Like, it was so stupid. My brain washed that game from my mind. And this is the setup to that, and that I don't even know what like Infinite did to like just restart and like reboot and refresh everything. And then Cortana wears this, like, she's wearing armor in that game, which just doesn't make sense. At least if she was wearing something that was like Forerunner, that would make more sense. But she's just wearing like armor because she's a big boss lady, and you know how it is, right? So yeah, this is the beginning of bad things to come, and so I won't talk much more about Halo 5. One thing I honestly, my favorite thing about this game are the weapons. The DMR in this game is one of my favorite weapons of all time. Just flat down. I love the DMR. It's actually my go-to weapon. Multiplayer. Again, after 3, I don't know what it is, but the Reach and 4, it just kind of blends together. It's not very memorable to me. I do remember this one being pretty decent, though, and, well, the one thing about the multiplayer in this one is that there are classes. And so, yes, we still have armor abilities, like, I think everyone can sprint now, and now you just have things like invisibility, dashing, jetpacks, stuff like that, and then you can choose your grenade output. It all things that sound cool and feel cool, but I never really fully got into the multiplayer for this one, I'll be honest. And even the campaign, once it ended, oh my god, I forgot about the ending. And the ending to the campaign is like, they've always done fantastic endings in Halo games, even if it's just a giant boss battle or a drive-through of some giant exploding thing. This one, I think, encapsulates 343 and their generic schism, is that the end boss of this game is a QTE QuickTime event. It's just press X to beat up the Didact. And then when he's dead and it's all over, Cortana kind of like Cortana and she, like, they're trying to have this relationship thing go on. It's like, yeah, sure, but like that was kind of all implied. You didn't really need to delve too deep into it, and they kind of try to make it the central point, or like a main point in here. Also, another aspect in this game is you finally meet Dr. Halsey, and it's just done in a way that's just not super interesting. Like, oh, that's Dr. Halsey. Like, yep, that's her. I don't know. It's a very iconic figure in the Halo universe, and they just did her in a very whatever way. But anyway, this is all, I would say, cope in a way. Essentially, this idea that anyone else besides Bungie can make Halo is there's a term called authorship that I use where you can't expect a company to just walk in somewhere and say, okay, we're going to make Batman or Spider-Man, or I'm going to do this or that, and not have the quality be significantly different. People are loyal to brands and ideas and not to people. Kojima can only make Kojima games. Bungie can only make Bungie games. And they went off into Destiny after this. But the idea and the hope that that I like, and it's I knew the inertia wasn't going to carry through. I knew that Bungie was not, no one's going to be able to live up to Bungie's style and their substance and etc. And but it's this fake hope that they put into the fans, and it's sick curiosity that kind of kept me going. Like, how bad is this really going to be? And for some cases, it's very kind of, it's okay, but we can deal with it. And for some cases, case of Star Wars, it's immediately viciously bad. And I've never seen a franchise just be guillotined like that. It's impressive how bad it was. Anyway, but yeah, everything about Halo 4 is passable. And I remember when I beat the final boss and the final cutscenes rolled and the credit rolled, it went back to the main menu. Was it 2014 or 2015 when I played it? I just had this feeling of unbearable dread that video games as a medium were ending. I don't know what it was, but looking at that main menu with the infinity and just the complete lackluster game I just played, I just had this foreboding sense of dread that we hit the peak of video games and we're never going to recover from it. And at the time, it was partially true. We definitely had a few hits and titles in the works. The 2010s was pretty decent, I would say. But the Silver Age from 2010 to 2030, once we started to hit 2020 and, well, COVID and all that other stuff, it all started winding down in terms of quality and whatnot. And the one thing I never liked about these games, by the way, is how they did the elites ever since Reach, is that they made them completely barbaric, like enemy animals, while in 3 and 2 they were kind of like allies. But whatever, there it is. Anyway, so that's Halo 4 in a nutshell. Not a great game, not recommended, but the beginning of the downfall and a mid series for them to start. Anyway, that's pretty much it. See you later, guys. Bye.